Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. So this is episode number 52 from the story of my life. And inshallah, this is dealing in this episode with what transpired after all of those marriage failures along with time. So that right there honestly was a very rough time. It was a very, very, very rough time because that was a hard decision to make. The decision of like, okay, do I leave the Maj, leave studying to go down to Sana'a to get married when something that is not promised? I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's even going to really happen or not. And then if I end up going down to Sana'a, it's going to be hard to get back to the Maj because then I'm going to have to work and get some money to come back. I have to buy a room, so it's going to be so many difficulties to get back. And obviously being in Yemen, you're not exactly in a country where you can just go down to Sana'a and make a whole bunch of money in a short period of time. It's not Saudi Arabia, so it was hard. So I ended up selling the house. I went back to the rooms. This was around 2000, I guess late 2003, early 2004. And then I just basically gave up. I eventually got back to just getting in the habit of just studying, and because all throughout my life, I always, whenever things are easy, I don't get much done. I have to go through this. It has to be something that like really, really makes me angry. I get things done. I'm not gonna say I don't do anything in a state of peace. I do. I get things done, but not at the level that I get things done when somebody really, really like angers me or something. So I used to enjoy it more if people were speaking about me, if people were doing these types of things, because it got me working even harder. And it was always motivation for me. I never, I wasn't the type of person like, oh, tribulation. Oh, let me just sit here and roll over and play dead for a while. So it didn't take long to just get back going. I mean, like I said, it was hard. I was a shot in the face right there, to be honest. The whole thing with the marriage and everything, because I just thought everything was set up and it was good to go. And it's the worst thing is always to get your hopes up for something, and then just to have it all crushed. So, Allahumma stan, it's like it's like hiking up to the top of the mountain just to enjoy the beauty of the top of the mountain and then get thrown off of it. So it's not easy. So I mean, basically, just went back into the same pattern because that's the only thing that you can do. You're in a village, you have no electricity, you have nothing to really occupy your time. So all the things that you're going through, you have to deal with them. You just have to deal with them because there's no distractions. Like if I'm in America, if I'm going through some type of pain or sadness or grief or whatever it is that I'm going through at the time, there's so many ways that you could distract yourself and cover up the pain and hide. But when you're out in that type of situation, you really, you just have to deal with it because there's no escaping it. You just have to come face to face with this is reality. This is what Allah wrote, and let's just move on and let's just keep it going. So that brings you to a high level of maturity that a lot of the people, they're not going to be able to attain, because the majority of the people, they spend their lives running away from their problems and hiding their problems and covering up and disguising and distracting themselves with something else and anything just to keep the pain away from them. But when you're forced to, when you're sitting in a type of situation where you have no choice but to come face to face with everything. I mean, and when I was in Damaj, I came face to face with everything, like everything. I started looking at my whole entire life, not just because of this. I'm just saying the whole time, because every failure, every pain, every suffering, everything that we had to go through, it put us in a position to where we had to like assess everything. Like, why am I doing this? Why can't I do this? Why am I not able to do this well? And then you have to go back and you have to do this whole account of everything that went wrong in your life. And then you just have to start working on fixing it. So this is what maturity is about. This is what growth is about. This is what progression in life is about. This is it. I mean, if we're not doing this, if we're not progressing, we're not becoming better, we're not correcting ourselves, not taking account of ourselves, then what are we doing? We're wasting life. So that was it. I mean, and that's what I've always done. I always looked at everything from the perspective of what did I do wrong? Not what did they do wrong? Oh, I'm so oppressed. Because that victim attitude, I've never liked it. I've never liked it. I've never liked anybody that had it. From the time that I was young, I hated anybody that sat there and said, oh, they're doing this to me. Oh, they're doing, man, shut up. Shut up, man. Why? What are you doing to bring all this? And why is it only just you? Why is the whole world just pinpointing you for problems? Because of what? So that type of attitude, I've never liked it. And it's never been a part of my life. I've tried it. I've gotten into it sometimes. Sometimes I always throw the blame maybe in public. Like if it's at school and I have to go down to the principal's office because I got in trouble. Yeah, I'll do that in public. I'll throw the blame off on, oh, the teacher did this and they're doing this to me. And I'll do that in public. But in reality, when I sit down with myself alone, I'm just like, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? I sit down and I always try to recount everything and where I went wrong. I'm not concerned about the other people and what they did wrong. Because, again, I mean, that doesn't affect my life, what they do wrong. What affects my life is what I do wrong, my reaction to what they did wrong. And so if a person did something wrong to me, and in this case, there was a huge wrong that was being done, I just didn't know what was being done. And what was being done was that the brother of the girl was the one who was blocking the marriage from happening. I didn't know this at the time. It was just kind of crazy because the same brother that blocked everything ended up in the future becoming my most staunchest ally in every single thing, But at this time, he wasn't. He wanted that girl to marry one of his friends, like the son of his friend or something stupid like this. So he was already trying to arrange that marriage, and she just wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. Her sister wasn't having it. None of the family. So they wanted what they wanted, and what he wanted was not a part of that. So he was trying to do everything he could to just block the marriage from happening. Like I said, I didn't know this at the time. I just knew that something wasn't right, and I felt like there was a lot of games going on behind the scenes, which there obviously were. I just didn't know what they were. I didn't have the details at the time, but I could feel it. I could feel when something's not right. And then Allah Mustaan. So, but I'm not going to sit back and say, again, oh, he did this. And, again, it's like, how do you react to that? How do you carry yourself? And how do you deal with these types of situations? That's where you either make the mistake or you get something right. I mean, because if you do something right, and in this regard, when I did find out what was going on, I did find out the whole story, I never changed my attitude towards the brother that was doing this. I continued to smile at him. I continued to give him salams. I basically pretended like I had no knowledge that he was doing this type of stuff. And that was the way that I kept it. So my reaction, because that's the only thing that I can control. So you react in a mature way. You react in a proper way. And alhamdulillah, the outcome for you will always be good in the end. You might have to go through some bumps on the road, and you might even hit a few walls and some trees along the way. And you're going to feel some pain. All of us are going to feel pain, but I would rather feel the pain of whatever I'm going through in the beginning, but have the outcome in my favor than to have, just throw the blame off on everybody else just so I could feel good now, but the outcome is completely against me. Because the people that do that, they don't have a good outcome. They don't. That brother that did that, I mean, he's just running around, and his whole, his outcome was not the greatest outcome in the world. And we're not even going to go into that. So, and none of the brothers were, so alhamdulillah, it's just, you do what you got to do, man. But you are responsible for you. And that's what this is all about. This is all about maturing. Because this deen, first off, we're dealing with the aspect of Tawheed. To truly accept Tawheed correctly and to have the correct beliefs of Tawheed and to implement this correctly in our lives, it takes a very high level of maturity. And the reason why you see a lot of the problems with the dawah today, that you see of, people, just in all the infighting, all the backbiting, all the gossip, the slander. You see all the stuff that's going on amongst the people in the dawah today. It's because the dawah has been placed in the hands of people who are not mature. They're not mature. And they lack that type of maturity to make the right decisions, to have the correct reactions. And then this is the reason why we're in the situation we're in. If you put the dawah in the hands of a bunch of immature, impulsive people, you're going to have problems. And we have problems. Like, we have major problems. We have all the resources available at our fingertips here in America to do a lot of great things in regards to pushing this dawah in America. But if it's not in the hands of the right people, if it's in the hands of a bunch of immature, impulsive, feminine acting, people, that every time that something doesn't go in their favor, they throw a hissy fit and they want to blame everybody and they want to fight and they want to yell and they want to, accuse this person of that and slander this person, then we're not going nowhere with this dawah. In fact, we're going in reverse. We're going to start to see more people leave it because nobody's going to tolerate that type of nonsense. Nobody who's trying to get to the truth is going to sit here and tolerate watching a bunch of grown, immature men, or they're not men, grown, immature males, act like a bunch of teenage girls. So it's just like it's not going to happen. People are not going to stick around for that show. That's a show that they don't want to see. So what happens is you see what we see today. And I wish I had learned the lessons at that time that I needed to learn, because I was still young. I'm still in my early 20s in Damaj. I went to Damaj when I was 22 years old. So, and then I was living alone. I've been alone for my mother got locked up. I don't know. I can't remember how old I was. I think it was like 20. I think I was 20 when she got locked up. But I mean, way before that, I was already just doing my own thing, always. So it's just, at that age, we think that we're so old and we think that we know so much, and we're so stupid. We're so stupid. We're so immature. But the thing is we have to start that process of maturity. And the process of maturity is you go through these trials and tribulations. You go through all the pain that you have to go through in your life. It's dealing with it in the right way, handling it. And handling it doesn't mean burying it. Handling it doesn't mean pretending it doesn't happen, trying to distract yourself. Handling it means coming face to face with everything that you have to. This is the way you have to do it. We lost a lot of people, a lot of very close brothers, very, very close brothers that still cause my eyes to tear up today. 20 years after, like some of them like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they've been dead, but the pain is still in the heart. And these are things that we had to deal with. We had to deal with them with maturity, and we had to move on. We have to keep going, because this is not going to, this affair of ours doesn't stop because I'm going through pain, or because this person died, or because this person got sick, or because I don't have the money to pay the rent, or it doesn't stop. We still have to keep moving, and that's where the maturity is. The maturity is pushing through all this pain, pushing through all the suffering, pushing through all the roadblocks, pushing through everything, and to continue moving towards that goal. And most people cannot do that. Most people, as soon as that first pain, that first trial or tribulation smacked them upside the head, they're done. They're finished. They're like, this is not for me. It is for you. It was for you, but you left it. You gave up your dreams. You gave up your dreams because you couldn't deal with a little pain. You gave up everything that you knew that this is what you wanted to do, because you couldn't deal with a little pain, because you couldn't, that's nonsense. So when we this is what we got to focus on. We have to focus on maturing, becoming better people, taking responsibility for our actions, taking accountability for our actions, and constantly like looking at ourselves like, what did I do wrong? Why is my life this way? Why are these things happening to me and they're not happening to these people? What am I doing wrong? Is my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How is that relationship? Am I doing the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with? Because obviously I can't expect things to go in my favor when I'm disobeying my creator, my sustainer, the Lord of the worlds, the one who, I'm supposed to be obeying, and I'm not obeying him, and I'm not showing gratitude towards him. And what I expect from my wife, what I expect from my children, what I expect from the people around me. I expect them to obey me, and I'm not obeying my creator. So it doesn't, again, it's about maturity. It's about really, really maturing, accepting like that we have made mistakes, and we're going to continue to make mistakes, and we have to fix ourselves, and we have to correct ourselves. I can't correct the people if I can't correct myself. I can only help the people do what I've already done with myself. And if I haven't done that, I haven't matured, I'm still lacking that essential maturity to get up and stand up in front of the people, then what am I going to do? I'm going to cause just as much chaos as all the other impulsive, feminine males that have stood up and caused all the problems that they caused before. And then we'll continue to cause. They will continue to cause because the entertainment, this entertainment for the people. The people nowadays, they love drama, and drama comes from immature idiots. So, Allahumma musta'an, so the people are going to continue to be entertained for a long time. So the people who have the maturity, who try to follow the Quran and the Sunnah correctly and truly live on all the principles of Tawheed. They're living their lives trying to fulfill those conditions of Tawheed. They're living their lives fulfilling the requirements of Tawheed. Those people are the ones who come and end the drama. They don't begin it. So they're going to be the entertainers. They're going to be the people that are going to be standing when that final bell rings, where everybody else is collapsed on the ground. Wallahu musta'an. Wa ila huna subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.